Oh, you hear my dogs barking. Houston, we got a problem, and it's called squash vine boring larva. So my summer squash coming out amazing, if you can see from some of the other videos, but my two spaghetti squash plants, they don't look good. And I went to the local nursery where I bought them, where I bought the seeds, and they're thinking I got this wonderful squash vine boring larva, which comes from a moth. Honestly, it looks like something out of a Japanese monster movie. Let's get down in here and look at the base of this spaghetti squash plant. All right, you can see what my vines are looking like here. Leaves are starting to get eat up. I thought this was from all the rain we got last week. We got 3 days worth of hard rain, but this is looking brittle. It's been bored into. So I'm gonna cut into a piece down here and see if I can find any of that larva in there. I don't know if we can actually save this plant or if I'm gonna pull it up so that we can make sure they don't get into any of my other plants. Yep, something's been boring in there. Son of a gun. I don't know how far down it's come, and I hate the fact that I had to just do this to that vine, but I'm gonna have to get these. I think I'm just gonna have to pull them. I'm gonna have to get them out of the ground. I don't want it spreading to the summer squash over there, definitely. This is a Texas thing that's, you can see this is where he's come in at right here. Let's see if it's hollowed out all the way. Let's dig down here and see what's going on. Yep, all the way down there. Look at that. Okay, give me a second, I'll be right back. So this is what was recommended by the nursery, and you have to inject it in the roots. All right, I'm back at it here. Let's see if I can get, I don't want to, these things are just obliterated at the bottom. There's my larva right there. Nope, hold on, that's not, but it's definitely rotting out the roots, that's for sure. Darn it, this one might be savable. Let's see here. Let me just do this. I gotta sacrifice something. Let's see here. Those are the larva eggs, those black things evidently. Man, that's a shame. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to break the wife's heart and tell her no spaghetti squash. We may have to start over again. I'm gonna dig this area up and figure out what to do with it from here. But I definitely don't want this spreading to the summer squash that are over there. So what they recommended at the nursery was that I wrap the base just down to the dirt, maybe dig out a little around it and wrap it with aluminum foil. So that's what we're gonna do. I'll be back. So you can see it, I cut open a couple of these vines and you can see this little gushy, yucky white larva thing right there. God, I hate those things, that makes me mad. All right, so this is what we're gonna use. It's called Thuricide. And again, this is for the squash vine boring larva from the moth. You just saw the larva, but I literally took less than, this is my dog Evie, no, this is not for you. I took less than a milliliter of this, and I just mixed it with about a cup of water, and we're just gonna go over here and we're gonna put it in our one remaining vine. We're gonna put it in there because whatever, if a larva does get in there, as soon as it eats into this, it'll die. All right, hopefully this view works for you. If it doesn't, I'll narrate what I'm doing. But this scares me to do to my plant, but I'm actually just gonna It's a nice thick vine here and it's all green, so I'm not worried about that, but I'm just gonna give it a little cut in right there. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and I'm just going inside with it. Get in there. Hold on. I have to make it just a little bigger. There we go. Get in there. Okay. And then what I'm gonna try and do is this. Cover it up. We'll see how well that works. I don't know, that was definitely recommended. I'm gonna do this side too over here. I don't know if you can see, but I got another one right here. So I'm just gonna give it a little closer to the base here. We'll make it smarter. A little cut in. Give it a little treatment here. Hopefully that's gonna go in. Let's see here, hold on. There we go. And we're gonna cover it up. And then we're gonna take this foil and do a little Christmas wrap in here. Well, whatever you want to call it, but let's just do this. Tear it a little bit and just do this. Get it down below the ground, down in the dirt. Hopefully this is gonna help, but let me get it down there. Wrap it all the way around. Man, that root is long. That is a long, hardy root. I really don't want anything else getting in there. That's for sure. But hopefully that little mixture I just showed you will help take care of that. Let's see if I can do this without breaking anything. These all still look healthy to me. So let's just wrap it up as we can. And what this does is this keeps the moth off of the base of this thing and laying eggs. So we'll see what happens there. I need to inspect my summer squash here. They're all looking good. I'm just gonna wrap them. I won't be done with it. I'm not gonna make you watch me wrap all of it. But... All right, so it's a bit sunny and hot out here, but I don't know if my phone's gonna overheat, but you can see that I wrapped the bases of what's left of my spaghetti squash over there, my summer squash here. I wrapped those bases with aluminum foil and I buried them partially. And the reason for that is that'll keep the larva from the eggs from being laid on the stalks, which is usually done toward the base. Now I did notice I have a couple of little ants down there crawling around, so I may throw some diatomaceous earth in here as well. But man, I hated pulling these, but once I found that larva in there, there was no other way. Here's your recap. Spaghetti squash. Well, anyway, 2 out of 3 of them are because of the wonderful, god-awful looking green and red devil moth that's here in Texas, evidently, that attacks squash and gourds and pumpkins. So it is what they call the squash vine boring larva that it lays. It attaches eggs to the base, and that then turns into larvae, and they bore in there. And once they're in there, they're pretty much in there. Mine were bored in below ground level, so the ones that happened to, I pulled them all out. So I still got one back there that hopefully is saved. But again, hopefully this video helped you out a little bit. It is morally crushed me a little bit because I hate pulling plants that I grew. But hopefully the other ones will survive. Hopefully the summer squash don't get any of those boring larvae as well. And the tomatoes are doing good, and the cucumbers are doing good, and the jalapenos are starting to grow. So if this helped you, give me a thumbs up. I'll catch you on the next one.